The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Hello out there, everyone listening to my show. All aboard. My name is Donald Whisman, and I'm here with Jimmy Bell, the producer of On Radio. Jimmy, you want to say hello?
Hello, everybody.
All right, that's good enough. I know you do that really short, but anyway, as always, I want to send my prayers out to all the men and women serving in our military. Say thank you to all of our country's veterans, and tonight we'll try this again. If anybody wants to call our show tonight and talk with us, we got a lot of top topics to talk about tonight. Get a pen. The number is 1-800-508-5431. I don't care if you don't like me. If you like me, just call and breathe in the phone. I don't care. Just call again. 1-800-508-5431. And if you support President Trump and you consider yourself a patriot, please join my Facebook group. It's called Trump 2020 ! Just join our group. It's a good group. It's just people that supports President Trump. And Jimmy, I guess the big story of the day, but we got a lot of stuff to talk about, is I guess our president gave a speech in front of the UN today. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I actually watched it.
Now, when you was watching this, Jimmy, when President Trump started talking about all his achievements, did you hear the people start laughing?
I didn't get it.
And he said that wasn't what I was expecting, but that's what I was expecting, but that's okay. I don't think that's cool, man, for them people to laugh at the President of the United States. I don't think it's cool. I mean...
I forget the reason why they were laughing, but it made no sense.
Well, you know, I was reading
on. His comeback was good. He goes, I wasn't expecting that type of reaction, but
yeah,
that's okay.
That's okay. Yeah, I didn't like him laughing at him. I mean, to me, the sitting president of the United States is, to me, I mean, Jimmy, you know how I feel about the UN. I think they need us more than we need them. They should never laugh at a sitting U.S. president. But I was reading an article about this UN, and I'm sure you know who Antonio Guterres. He's the Secretary General of the United Nations, and this article said he technically has more. He is above the President of the United States of America. Well, when did he become above our president? I voted for President Trump. I didn't vote for Antonio Guterres. He's not my leader. Do you consider him your leader?
No, not at all.
Well, what do you think about the UN, Jimmy? I mean, to me, they say it's like
money because they do nothing.
They said it's a body that governs the world. To me, that's kind of like a one world order kind of thing. I'm not into this one world order stuff, Jimmy. I'm really not. But now, what did you like about it? Did you think President Trump did a good job today?
Yeah, he did. He told them what it was like and what he was going to do with Iran.
I read that. You know what? That's the thing. Everybody's out here. I know the big story right now is Kavanaugh. But this country should be worrying about Iran. I mean, that guy's made...
North Korea.
Was North Korea... And now, I read they was going to have another meeting possibly soon, President Trump and Kim Jong-un.
He still wants to go denuclearize. I think he's still trying to play the president, and the president ain't going along with it. So he don't know what to do.
So, I mean, but we're better off with Trump being there than we would be an Obama any day or a Hillary Clinton. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. He'd have walked all over Hillary.
Oh, sure. And you know, Jimmy, they're still out here yakking about Russian collusion. I'm serious. They're still yakking about Russian collusion. It is stupid. And what's that guy's name over there that runs the president? What's his name? Rouhani, something like that?
Oh, yeah, I forget his first name.
Hassan or something like that.
Rouhani is the last name.
Rouhani, but you know, he said that President Trump and the U.S. would suffer the same fate as Saddam Hussein if Trump keeps up with this. I guess Trump's putting sanctions back on him or something like that.
Yeah,
and,
he is. He definitely is. And he started some in August.
Well, I mean, Jimmy, I'll tell you the truth, and it's just my opinion. I'm not trying to give fake news out, but I think they may have some nuclear weapons over in Iran. I mean, that's just my thought on it, man.
Oh, I swear they do.
Well, you know who would have bought and paid for those nuclear weapons, don't you? Oh,
Yeah, the money
Obama.
they got from Obama.
Well, sure. And then Trump got stuck with his whole mess as soon as he took oath of office. He got stuck with all these problems out here, and the economy's doing good right now, Jimmy. I read that we're at unemployment right now is at a 49-year low. I mean, that's 1969. Unemployment, is as good as it has been since 1969. At the lowest.
Well, it'll be 1970. It'd be 50 years next year for.
Well, that's my age. I mean, that's pretty old. I think Trump is doing his freaking job. So, Jimmy,
Yeah, he is.
Now listen. All these people in this country that's bashing President Trump on the news, the Democrats, the Hollywood. I mean, could you imagine living in another country or being a leader to these other countries and just, they don't live here, but they get news. And I think it's bad for our country because people in these lives in these other countries and these world leaders, they probably think that America is in chaos right now. We're getting ready to overthrow the government from hearing, the news talk about a president the way they do. I don't think they should be dogging him like that all the time, man. It's not good for us.
Right.
All right. I guess the big news tonight is Kavanaugh. It's been news here for the last couple of weeks. With the Christine Ford.
Dragging it out, that's for sure.
They're definitely dragging it out. This lady named Christine Ford. Now, Jimmy, I didn't do my show last week. I couldn't make it home, but I was going to talk about it last week. But this lady, Jimmy, it's been over 30 years. Over 30 plus years. 36 years. Now, Jimmy, can you remember half the things you did when you was 16, 17 years old? I can't.
Not at all. You know what I mean? I mean, I can remember some things, but if somebody come up and said, hey, I did that, I'd be looking at them. What, did I have a blackout or something? 'Cause I don't know nothing about it.
I mean, kids go to parties, and look, the lady was there. She was drinking. I'm sure. I don't even know if Kavanaugh was even there, right? And
I don't even know if he was there. He said he never went to a party like that.
Well, and she tried to get one of her friends. I guess they questioned one of her friends that they said she was there too, and she said she don't even remember the party, and she don't remember Brett Kavanaugh. So, I mean, it's the timing, Jimmy. It's the whole timing of this whole. This Ford.
The Democrats digging up dirt and convincing these people to come forward. They're going to reward them later.
There you go. They're going to get paid for it. And you said people. I guess when you say people, you're meaning this other lady named Deborah Ramirez. She's another lady.
The last one either, guaranteed.
You think? Now
this all out guns now. They already lied with the first one. Now they're doing it with the second, and they'll bring as many as they can until they stop this guy.
I don't get it. Yeah, this is another one. What this Deborah Ramirez? She went to college with him at freshman year at Yale, and like you said, they're going to get paid for it, but still, it's alleged. Now
he exposed himself to her. I mean, even if he did, what kind of a crime is that?
Well, ain't there? What was we talking about? Statute of limitation. Let's talk about Bill Cosby before we get more into this Brett Kavanaugh. But you said Bill. They was talking about they sentenced Bill Cosby. He turned himself in today, correct?
Yeah. There was one woman that was inside the statute of limitations, but he had other people that was beyond the statute of limitations testify, and that's not right.
3 to 10 years that man has to serve. Now listen, Jimmy, I'm not for any man. I'll tell you right now, I'm against any man that would ever hurt a woman or do anything bad to a woman.
Absolutely.
But you wait that long.
Cruelty.
Well, it's the new fad nowadays with these liberals and everything. All these sexual misconduct allegations. I'm sick of hearing about it. And they said Bill Cosby. Technically, he's legally blind almost right now. And so, almost, they said he's technically blind. That guy's not going to live that long if he has to serve that much time in prison for something he did so many years ago. Just like Brett Kavanaugh, like you said, is that a crime what Brett did? And right now, Jimmy, Thursday, like I said, Christine Ford gets to testify in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee, right? Now, I'm going to ask you because I really don't know. Is Brett Kavanaugh going to? I know she was wanting all these terms and conditions. Is he going to be able to be there Thursday and face his accuser, or is she going to have? Oh, he doesn't get to sit in on it.
She said he can't be there when she testifies.
Well, who is she to say what?
I know. She's got no fucking right saying anything like that.
That's wrong, Jimmy. I'm telling you, that's
like
not the
me
way.
Going to court and telling them how I want it.
Yeah, I don't want my accuser here. I
don't want the police here. I don't want the judge here.
They would laugh at you, Jimmy. But it's okay
Absolutely.
though. You know why it's okay? Because Trump picked this man. Trump nominated this man. This man is a conservative. They don't want him in there. They're afraid that he's going to get in there. He's going to reverse Roe v. Wade, which. What you said something about Roe v. Wade. If it did get reversed, it would go back to the states.
Back to the states. It won't give up abortion. It will just go back to the states.
Well, it's the way it should be. It should go. It should be the states' rights to take care of that stuff, not the government.
People in different states feel differently.
Now, I'm against abortion, Jamie, and I'm sure you are too. But there is certain circumstances where I think it might be okay. But I wouldn't make it. The government shouldn't set down a policy that says, "Hey, we're allowing abortion." You're right; it should go back to the states, because that's what it was meant. Well, the government was basically here to deal with foreign entities. You know what I mean, and to keep the people safe of this country. That's their main job, Jimmy. And you know what I mean, and to uphold our Constitution. The states are supposed to have more rights over the people, not the government. And Jimmy, let me ask you a question. Right now, let's just say 2020. I know it won't happen. Trump's going to win in 2020. But let's just say somebody like Bernie Sanders wins the White House, all right? Becomes president. He's a socialist, all right? And capitalism stops in America. Socialism begins. I guarantee you, almost more than a quarter of people in this country, they wouldn't care, Jimmy. They wouldn't care if socialism.
It would be instant depression. It would be the collapse of the market. It would be a lot. We're going into a deep depression we haven't seen in a long time. Makes 2008 look like a fucking mischanged.
Well, a lot of people, and it is about money too, Jimmy, but it's also about control. It's about government controlling every move you make, just like with that Roe v. Wade. The government shouldn't got involved with that, man. And then I think also the world would be in chaos. If America ever goes under, I think the rest of the world's going to go under. I think America is the driving force of this planet right now. I mean, we have to be, Jimmy. Us, China, Russia, I don't know how much England, is economic power of the world, but I know America, I believe, is the number one economic power of the world. And I'm telling you, Jimmy.
China, I think we're coming back.
Oh well, hey, look at the population they got. Jesus Christ, over here, man.
That's why they got the good economy. Plus, they've been screwing us for fucking decades.
Well, and who's putting a stop to that? Mr. Trump.
Exactly. Like I said, now we're going to become the number one world economic power again.
Well, if they let President Trump do his job, if they let him govern. Obama is still going around giving speeches, Jimmy. He was in Ohio, right here in the state I live in a couple weeks ago, and here in my state, the state that I live in, running his mouth about politics, and he's taking credit for the economy right now. Obama didn't do any. His Obamonomics didn't trickle down to now. He did nothing for this country. It's Trump bringing back jobs and deregulating stuff that's bringing back jobs to this country, man. I mean, you got to deregulate, because Obama, I'm telling you, Jimmy, regulations were crazy. When I was out here working in the construction field, there were so many regulations. It's hard to even build a house now when Obama was president.
He did everything to stifle the economy.
Well, I think he was working against our own country. It's the same with these Democrats. They want us to fail. Why would
they want us to fail? Because out of chaos becomes the Democrats. They think they do their best in chaos.
Well, for almost the year. Well, I've been doing this show almost a year, and Jimmy, I still haven't figured them people out. Why anybody would want to destroy a country that they live in? I just don't get it, man. I mean, they live here. Their children has to live here. Their grandkids has to live here. I'm sure not their whole family ain't going to be living behind gated communities and fences around their house. I mean, it's just I don't understand these Democrats. I can't get in their head. They defied logic, Jimmy,
Right.
and it seems like we repeat ourselves week after week, and we know the Democrats are bad. I just wish that party would disband. I wish the news would go back and start talking about the good things that our president's doing instead of negative things that he hasn't even done. I don't know, Jimmy, you know what I'm talking about, man. Anyway, we've got Dianne Feinstein. Here's the lady trying to lead the pack, Jimmy. Dianne Feinstein. She's another one.
She's supposed to be co-chairman of the committee, and she's doing everything against the rules.
Well,
Why is she still on the committee?
I don't know, but she's wanting the Senate to hold off on the Kavanaugh nomination.
Right, which that ain't going to happen. Trump won't let that happen.
Now, didn't they say today? I thought I heard them. I read an article or I seen it on the news. They said maybe Friday they'll go ahead and do the vote on Kavanaugh right after her testimony. But I don't think they should even let this lady testify against Brett Kavanaugh, because what happened to being innocent until proven guilty? I mean, anybody can say anything. That's the problem with this whole thing. He held me down and put his hand on my mouth. I mean, if she was so daggone traumatized, why didn't she say something back even when he was during the confirmation hearings? She waited until after the confirmation hearings before it came out. It's timing, Jimmy. It's all about timing, brother. I mean, that's how they work. They work like that. And here's another question I want to ask you. Let's just say Brett Kavanaugh does not get nominated, all right? Trump picks another one, all right? And they don't nominate him. So what happens? What happens, Jimmy? Do they keep going on until another president comes along and they say we got a Democratic Senate, which I hope we don't get? Can they do that? Can they not have 9 justices in the Supreme Court?
What do you mean, not have 9?
Like I know the one stepping down, right? Is it Kennedy who's stepping down?
Roberts, I think.
Roberts. Well, he's stepping down.
Kennedy. I think it is Kennedy.
Is it? Well, Justice Kennedy. All right. Well, say when he leaves, right? It's going to leave us 8 justices, right? Now, how long can this country go with 8 justices? I mean,
we went a year and something without Merrick Garland, that's for sure.
Well, how long did it take them to replace Scalia? Do you remember?
Yeah, well over a year.
I know Obama couldn't replace him, I guess because it was a Republican-ran Senate.
Republicans in the Senate that wouldn't push the vote for it, wouldn't nominate him.
See, I don't even remember. Did Obama try to nominate a justice for Scalia?
But the Republicans, we had the Republicans in the Senate.
So let's go to the midterms. Let's hope that this doesn't happen. But the midterms comes around. Let's just say the Democrats take the Senate, right? What happens if they never nominate anybody who, or they never confirm one of Trump's nominations? I mean, could we go on for another 4 years with 8 justices? I mean, is that the way it would go? I mean, I'm asking.
It would have to be.
I know somebody made a comment the other day, and they said, no, the president can nominate one, and they can serve for 9 months, but I've never heard nothing like that. They have to be confirmed, right, through the Senate to be a justice. President just...
Wow, I got to go make a drink.
All right, I'll just sit here. You guys, I'm going to tell you, I got a friend out there. I know this isn't political, but I just want to give a shout-out to one of my friends, Daryl Whisman, and his wife, Brenda Whisman. My friend's he's been under attack lately. The man's sick. The man tries to help everybody out there that he can. He's a good man. And what it is, though, I don't know. It's just like it's happened to me before. You get rid of somebody out of your life, they'll block you on Facebook. They'll attack you, but you can't attack them back when you know what I'm saying. I just don't like that. So just don't have friends on Facebook and don't block. If you're going to attack somebody, don't block people on Facebook. That's childish. And if you got a problem with your friend, resolve it. Don't go and talk behind your friend's back. If he was once your friend, don't do that. That's just childish to me. It's drama. I don't like it. But anyway, I know Jimmy's making a drink right now, and I really hate sitting here talking to myself. I know people may be listening, but What was I going to tell you guys? Oh, the midterm elections coming up. Very important. Figure out who's going to be on your ballot. We got to get out of here and vote. We got to vote like President Trump is going to be on all of our ballots. So, I mean, we got to get enthused about this election coming up because President Trump really needs our help. This is really big. I mean, President Trump cannot run this country on executive orders. He has to have the Senate and the House so he can pass real legislation. So we really need to keep the House. We need to keep the Senate. Your states, we need to get in more Republican governors. We need to get in more, for your state senators, Republican senators, your state Republican representatives. Let's keep everything Republican. I'm telling you, the Democrats, it's just like that movie on Matrix where they take that pill and they either come into reality or they stay in this fake world. And I don't know which pill it is, but these people, they're living in a dream world right now. So I'm not going to vote for a Democrat because their platform is just wrong. I don't like it. I don't like anything Democrats stand for right now. I don't hate anyone. I just don't like what Democrats stand for. They're just nasty, dirty people. At one time, the party used to be good. But here we go. It's, 2018? You're going to go to 2019. That party has done a 360. So I'm not going to walk away. There's a new group on Facebook. It's not too new, but it's called Walk Away. People who walked away from the Democratic Party. I say run away from the Democratic Party. Get away from that party as fast as you can because I'm telling you, that will be the downfall of our nation will be the Democratic Party. Lincoln even said it a long time ago, back in the 1800s. If our country ever falls, it will fall from within. And let's just stay away from those people, bad people. Anywhere from, you got Dianne Feinstein, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. You even got Michelle Obama out here. And when Jimmy comes back, I'm going to talk about that for a little bit when he comes back. You back? All right, Jimmy. Michelle Obama. I don't know if you've heard, but she's got a new book coming out. It's called Becoming. Did you hear about Michelle's new book?
No, Michael's wrote a new book. Isn't that nice?
Michael, okay, I get it. Well, anyway, the name of it's called Becoming. All right, now here
of a woman.
Yeah, well, whatever it means, but I think what her big plan is to become president. And all these big-name Democrats, Jimmy, 2020, I guarantee you, every one of these big-name Democrats, they think they can beat President Trump in 2020. And what's going to happen, Jimmy, during their primaries, their debates, they're going to turn on each other. They're going to turn on each other. And I'm going to sit back and I'm going to laugh because President Trump doesn't have to go through the primaries again. He don't have to go through all these Republican candidates.
Oh, he does, but not a bunch of them, though.
He don't. I mean, like them, they're going to have to run from state to state like he did. Like both parties did back when Obama was leaving office.
You got to get the electoral vote.
Well, yeah, he's got to get that in the election, but when it comes to the primaries, Jimmy, he doesn't have to run back through the primaries because he's the incumbent. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to go back through the primaries.
Run.
Yeah.
If he did such a bad job, nobody would vote for him.
Well, yeah, he's got to get out here and campaign during the actual election, but when it comes to like the primaries, you win Iowa, you start out, you're normally in Iowa and you go through all these states. He doesn't have to do that in 2020. They do, because he's the incumbent. He's already the Republican incumbent. That's what I've always been told. He's not going to be up here debating other Republicans like he did last year, like Ted Cruz and all them.
Right.
It'll be just the Democrats, but Jimmy, they're going to attack each other. They are. I mean, they're going to, Jimmy. It's going to be a bloodbath. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to laugh, man. The Chuck Schumers and the Nancy Pelosi's and the Michael Obamas and man, wouldn't that be horrible though if that lady won presidency? Wouldn't that be horrible?
It would never happen.
Well, I don't think it would, but it would be like a nightmare, Jimmy. I really think it would be. And I heard this guy. He was talking about our elections, our electoral college vote. And he was talking about getting rid of the Electoral College vote, and that's part of our Constitution, man. That's not right. And he said all of that.
You can't do it without a ratification. You need 3/4 of the states to go along. They're not going to.
That's what he was talking about. If so many states would change it to where their votes only would go toward the popular vote, he said that'd be the way they could get it. But people shouldn't even be talking like that, man. I mean, why? Because Hillary Clinton, she supposedly got the popular vote, and Trump got the electoral college vote. It don't work like that, and it wasn't set up for that, Jimmy. It's about the Constitution, and the Democrats, I'll tell you what, Jimmy, they don't care about our Constitution anymore, man. And that's one reason I don't like these people. I despise them. It's getting really disgusting. I can't even turn the news on or read an article. I get disgusted. I want to throw up anymore. And you know who Snoop Doggy Dogg is, don't you?
Yep.
Well, he was even trash talking President Trump. I'm serious. Yeah, I'm not going to say it. I know you would. You would definitely say it. He said F Trump and F everyone who voted for him. He thinks we're all a bunch of. And Kanye West. Yeah, I forgot about him. He said Kanye. I guess because Kanye likes President Trump. Right. They get along. Now, who is he? He talks like a thug, right? And he's got all these white boys that try to imitate him. You know, they want to talk like Snoop Doggy Dogg. Well, I just don't. I'm not into that thug talk. I don't like that thug talk.
Me neither. It's a lot of wiggers, you know what I mean, trying to be niggas.
There you go. White people trying to be black people, and it just don't look good. I don't like it. I don't like Snoop Doggy Dogg. I just don't like people attacking the president, man. I don't like it, man.
Well, especially when they's helping them. Why would Snoop Dogg be against him? You know, other than he swallowed the Kool-Aid.
Why? Yeah, that is a good question. Why would Snoop Doggy Dogg hate President Trump?
He's great for the blacks.
Well, Jimmy, answer me this. I know I keep asking you questions here tonight, and my chair is squeaking, but can you tell me one thing? Everybody thinks President Trump is a racist. Jimmy, tell me one thing that President Trump has done that makes him a racist. Can you tell me one thing?
They'll tell you there's all kinds, but there really isn't. If they want to get close, he called that Spanish judge there unfair. Now, that's what you want to call racist because he called him unfair?
That's not racist.
Didn't call him a nigger or respect. Called him unfair.
Well, you know, there's white people that I would call the N-word, Jimmy. That don't mean you're racist. I mean,
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying. That word can be taken out of text, but it's such a bad word. We can't say that word, but they can sure call us names.
Dog was using it constantly when he had his little interview there on the radio.
Oh gosh, that was horrible. I mean, I didn't come on here and say it. I knew you would. He F Trump and F everybody who voted. And you know, I wanted to just reach through that. I seen the video. I just wanted to punch that guy right through the video, dude. I don't like him.
I got no respect for him at all. I used to because he smoked pot, but now I got no respect for him at all.
Let's talk about pot. Now, I know this is a political show, but let's talk about pot for a minute, Jimmy. Now, I personally don't smoke pot. I tried it a few times. It's not my gig, right? I used to drink beer when I was younger, on Friday nights. But I've been doing a lot of studying on pot here the last 6-7 years. I've been reading a lot about it. Let's see. Marijuana, I don't think you can die of an overdose on marijuana, can you?
No, you can't.
Now, is marijuana addicting like alcohol is?
Well, they say it is psychologically, but physically it isn't.
So, but when you drink alcohol and you go to dry out, you literally have to go to a hospital.
Physical. You literally, you got to dry out. You're going through the DTs.
So why does this country, why do we sell alcohol, but I know we're getting more laxed on marijuana, but why is it we're not selling marijuana and getting taxes from that and revenues from that when alcohol is clearly...
They're charging the same amount of money for pot legally as they do illegally.
Really? I mean,
now,
why...
Illegally, the prices went up so they can afford to pay the lawyers when they go to court.
Oh, you mean the drug dealers' prices went up?
Legal. What's their excuse?
Well, when I say legal, Jimmy, I mean like to be able to go down to your corner gas station and buy a pack of...
In Massachusetts, you can.
Whoa, you can go and buy a pack of marijuana cigarettes in Massachusetts.
I believe it goes into effect this January, but yes.
I mean, a long time ago, people demonized marijuana. It was demonized. It was so bad, you know. And but it's nothing like this heroin epidemic, Jimmy. I mean, people on marijuana, these guys, they're not out here looking for a fight like drunks are. They're not out here wrecking their cars like drunks are. I mean, they're not out here beating people up, like drunks do. I just think it mellows people. I don't smoke it. From what I've seen, though, I think America could really make our government can make a lot of money from taxes on marijuana.
Yes, okay. Now, people just smoke marijuana. You're right. There's no problem, no physical violence, anything whatsoever. But if you get somebody that's drinking and then smokes pot,
do they go ballistic?
It amplifies the drinking to make you a stumbling, bumbling, babbling idiot.
So don't mix the two.
But it isn't. It's actually the alcohol that the pot intensifies.
So, I mean, honestly, Jimmy, I did drink. Like I said, I don't smoke pot. But I'm going to say that drinking is a lot worse than smoking marijuana. I mean, from what I'm reading. Yeah, I think it's worse. And why did they demonize it so bad, though, here a while back?
Well,
I mean,
it's because of Dragnet. They said marijuana was the fuse, heroin, LSD was the bomb, and it was really stupid. Oh, no, marijuana was the match, LSD was the fuse, and heroin was the bomb.
Well, it's something that you don't even have to mix chemicals to make. It's natural. It's a natural grown herb, right? It's a weed herb.
You can modify it genetically, but that's about it.
But it's a natural herb. And I know this is political, but it's to do. I'm talking about it for tax reasons. A government's always complaining they don't have enough money. But I look at gambling. Look back a long time ago how bad gambling used to be in this country. It was a sin. Now every town you go to, they got riverboats, casinos. They're everywhere, right? I mean, we've opened up. Society's opened up to that. So why don't they open up to the marijuana thing? I'm not really against it. I don't smoke it, but I'm not against marijuana, man. There's a lot worse things than marijuana out there to me.
Well, the majority of people that tried marijuana is usually when they're drunk, because that's when they got the balls to try it.
That's when I tried it.
Like I said, it intensifies the alcohol, makes them puke, all right, and then spins all that shit just from smoking. And that's why they don't, I don't like marijuana. It makes me sick.
So you think that's why it made me sick? Because I was drinking when I tried it.
Absolutely. It's got nothing to do with the marijuana other than intensifying the alcohol.
Oh, Jimmy, did I get sick? And I told myself, never again will I do this marijuana stuff. Never. But
try it straight sometime.
Well, I might one day. I mean, the smell, Jimmy. If they could just do something about the way, I don't like the smell or taste of it. It's just me. I don't know. But I'm not demonizing it no more. I used to demonize it just like everybody else. Some people do. They love the smell of it, but I guess people
skunk weed, cat piss. You know what I mean? The more it smells like that, the better the pot.
Well, a lot of people are they rolling it up in these things they call blunts that taste like grape or whatever flavor you.
Cigar wraps that you can put the pot in and roll it, so you smoke it like a cigar.
So
I don't like it because
is that a waste?
You choke on it bad enough, but now putting it in a cigar wrap and inhaling it, a lot of people just choke on it and don't like it.
Now, I know we're talking about pot again. I'll go back to that. But to me, if I was a marijuana smoker, I think I'd rather just do it in the joints. I mean, because I think if you put it in a big old stogie, I think you'd be wasting it. Ain't that a waste, Jimmy?
A lot of it is just wasted. It's the way the kids smoke it now. It's complete waste. It really is.
Well, Jimmy,
pot 1,000 different ways, but
I hate to say it, but like the heroin, we've still got a bad problem in our country right now with heroin. I've seen videos. People actually video people that's on heroin. Like in my hometown, I seen 2 videos today where 2 girls were just laying in the street and they're videotaping them, and it's sad. It's really sad.
It is.
But
it just knocks you out, makes you an idiot.
Well, here's the thing, Jimmy, and I hate to say this. If they would just lighten up on the marijuana, I would rather see a kid get on marijuana and stay with that than move on to they say it's a gateway drug.
Marijuana is the gateway drug for everything, which is a crock of shit. If you got the mentality to start smoking pot, then you got the mentality to do anything. Meth, coke,
Well, what if they
Heroin.
like the pot? Maybe they might not try the heroin and stuff if they like the pot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I went for years and years just smoking pot. I did downs when I was younger as a teenager. I did acid. I mean, I tried the stuff, but never did it on a daily basis because I smoked marijuana.
Well, yeah, that'd be like, I tried heroin because I smoked marijuana. That's just stupid.
And
It's
that's
stupid.
What the TV, Dragnet, that's what they taught everybody. All the old people, and that's why we're finally getting marijuana legalized now because them old people died.
Well, I myself, Jimmy, I believed like they believed back in the day. I thought it was a bad thing, but, I started thinking about alcohol, and it's way worse than marijuana. It's way worse, and I guess we'll get off that subject, but I guess what I'm trying to say is maybe we should try different things in this country, and let's get that wall up, and let's stop the heroin coming in here, and let them grow their marijuana fields and sell it or whatever.
Stop the marijuana, but not the heroin. Isn't that stupid?
It is stupid. Now, they're fighting Trump on the wall, and I know the wall's to keep the people out, but it's also to keep the drugs out. And they're fighting him on that.
That's the main thing. That and the human trafficking.
The human trafficking, yes, and the separating of children, which a lot of them ain't even the parents of the kids at that border. They're human traffickers, sex smugglers, and all this and that nasty, nasty crap going on. I don't blame them for separating them kids down there from those nasty people.
Why would you want them to be with the adults that are committing felonies? It's just, you know what I mean? You don't send your kids in jail with their parents.
No, they usually send them to their grandma's or foster home. Or, somebody's going to take care of those kids. Apparently...
It's like Feinstein. She could give two shits about Kavanaugh's two daughters and what she's blaming. And those are girls. She could give two shits about women.
You're right. Well, listen, Jimmy, the man, he was 17. He was a 17. I call them boys now. They're a boy when they're 17.
Yeah, when they're 17. You're an adult legally in the court. That's it. But you're not an adult when it comes to paying bills or anything else. You're still underage.
I'll go back to say it one more time. I don't think the Senate should even allow this lady to testify. I think they should have just flew her off.
All it is propaganda, and that's all we're going to get out of this. No truth, no facts, just propaganda.
I'm tired of hearing about it. I don't know about you, Jimmy, but I am sick. I'm sick of hearing about it, man. I mean... I
can't wait till it's over. And they finally, you know what it is? He might not get in because that's just this lady and these two people that come forward is giving Susan Collins a reason not to vote for him.
That's what I was going to tell you. Yes,
Jeff Flake is done. This is his last year, so he don't give a shit if he voted for him or not. He hates Trump.
Now, what about Collins? They said that's one that's on the fence right now. They might not vote for Kavanaugh, right?
She wants to hear her testify, and I guarantee you after she testifies, she's going to believe her.
Oh, because she's a woman.
No matter what the woman says, she's going to believe her.
Well, I don't like it, Jimmy. I think he's getting a bad rap there for something he allegedly did when he was 17 years old.
It's a travesty. It really is.
Well, I think the man's good.
The Democrats did, you know what I mean? The Republicans would never do, but I'll guarantee it, now that they're opening it up, she can go on a committee and just disregard rules and still be on the committee? I mean, where's the Republicans trying to throw her off?
Well, yeah, why ain't Grassley saying no? We're not going to let this lady dictate what the Senate...
They should have never let the circus start to begin with.
It is. You said it right there. It's a circus. Even his confirmation hearings, all those people up protesting during his confirmation hearings, that shouldn't have been allowed to happen. I know they was dragging them out, but they orchestrated that, the Democrats did. I'm tired of this crap, man. They're letting these people dictate how our government and our policies are going to be ran. Oh, I'll only come and testify if he's not there and under certain conditions and all this and that. That man should be able to be there and answer questions to things she says about him. Let him answer questions.
To say he's got to testify first is the most ridiculous thing. How do you defend against accusations what you haven't heard yet?
There you go. He don't even know what the lady's going to say.
How do you defend against that?
Was he supposed to come in and say, well, if she says this, it's not true. If she says this, it's not true.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Now he's got to expect what she's going to say.
And Jimmy, you're right. the women they're going to go for what she says, and because
no matter what, they're going to say the woman is right, no matter what.
They are. It's wrong. This whole thing, like you said, it should have never been allowed. It should have never been allowed to happen. They was already supposed to, here right after his confirmation hearing, Jimmy, it's been over 2 weeks. They were already supposed to vote on him. They've been holding this off. These Democrats has got the Republicans. What are they scared? Are they scared that they're going to lose their job or something? Or like you said, the one's leaving anyway, or they're not running again or something. I don't know. Or they didn't win the primaries or something, wasn't it?
No, he was never going to get back in. He already said he wasn't going to run because he knew he could never get in.
Now, if it's a tie, Mike Pence gets to vote on whether he gets the tiebreaker.
We lose Susan Collins, but if we lose Flake and Murkowski, or McClaskey, I forget, the one from Alaska, we're screwed.
All right, now listen. This man, he's been a judge most of his life, right? This Kavanaugh, he's been an outstanding citizen, from what Trump says.
He was trained to be a judge.
All right, now why didn't this come out all these years? Why wait till now for this to come out? That's what gets me, man. It's the timing.
His name became up in public, and I was like, oh, this guy did this to me. He grabbed my tits when I was 15. Do you know how many broads' tits at 15 I grabbed? You know what I mean?
When you
can just go to the police and have you arrested.
Well, back in our days,
fumbling through sex. You're 15, fumbling through sex, and now it's a felony.
Well, Jimmy, I guarantee you, if anything of this is true, I bet she was drinking too, and he was probably drinking. They were young kids. They were young kids. They were probably kissing, and they found her picture in a yearbook with him. Oh, I remember him. He tried to sexually assault me. Now, it's just sickening, Jimmy. And I just, you know what? We really shouldn't even talk about it anymore because it's sickening. It is. It's downright sickening. And Joe Biden, there's a guy. There's a pervert right there. He's been out running,
showing him grabbing 12-year-old tit.
Well, they're not making a big deal about Joe Biden. You never hear about it, do you? How many pictures and whispers that they got of him on videos?
That's what Grassley should do. Run a video of Joe Biden grabbing 12-year-olds and saying, are we going to arrest him?
Well,
36 years later, or how many years later?
Yeah, you can't do that. Well, the little girl, when they was like 3 or 4, 30 years from now, they're gonna dig Joe up and try him in court.
He grabbed my tit. I know he did. He didn't mean to, but he did it anyways.
But he's a Democrat, Jimmy. There's a difference there. He's a Democrat, so
Democrats don't do anything wrong, like Keith Ellison.
Well, I mean, this guy Joe Biden,
his girlfriend, and nobody's saying nothing.
Oh, really? I didn't hear about that one. I didn't hear about it.
The DNC, or the second in charge.
Well, that's probably why I didn't hear about it, because they probably haven't talked about it anywhere on Fox, though, have they?
Other than Fox, nobody else talks about it.
They don't want to cover anything bad about the Democrats, Jimmy. No other news stations do. If it ain't bad,
the media is still a powerful weapon for the Democrats, even though the majority of the people know the news is full of shit. They're still taking. It's been so long that they've manipulated the public that the public don't know how to get out of it.
Well, that's it. All right, Jimmy. I did a video here last week, and I was talking about these Democrats. We got to keep the House and Senate. And a guy asked me on there. He asked me a question. He said, "What do you expect us to do?" Now, Jimmy, here's how I answered him. What to do? You just do what we're doing. Try to spread some truth. What you think's the truth. I mean, because truth's hard to find nowadays. And you got to get out here and vote. That's about all we can do, Jimmy. I don't know what more we can do besides talk about it and vote. You can't wait until the president runs to vote. You got to run.
That's the biggest thing, and that's what this country lacks on. How many people vote in any election? None of them has ever been more than half.
No.
And that's a lot of people that are just fucking downright, you know what I mean, non-patriotic.
Now, you're talking about
a neighbor in the park here that I just told him. He says he doesn't vote. I goes, and you call yourself patriotic? He goes, yeah.
I bet he flies a flag. Does he fly a flag in his front yard, Jimmy?
All that shit.
Oh, and he don't vote. The most patriotic thing you can do. Well,
he just bitches.
Oh, but he don't have a right to bitch. If you don't vote, to me, your opinion don't matter. It's mind over matter.
That's what I told him. I says, and what do you call that there? Contemplation, or what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know,
Going
Jimmy.
along with it.
Well, I just think if you don't vote, your opinion don't matter, brother, because that's un-American not to get. And we're talking about registered voters, Jimmy. There's millions and millions of people that are eligible to even register that are not even registered to vote. People, and the most of the people, they don't care, Jimmy. They don't care until it slaps them in the face.
They make it easier for blacks to vote in minorities because they always voted Democrat. Now, when they start voting for Trump. Oh, now all of a sudden it's a bad policy.
Now, the state you live in, Jimmy, when you vote, do you have to show an ID where you vote?
I did when I didn't have Yes, I did. You got to show an ID. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Ohio, we have to show.
They took a picture of me.
Oh, really? Now, I think out in California.
But I was registered, and they wanted to make sure I used my address and sent back from there.
Right. They probably made you show a bill or something, too, didn't they?
Yes, exactly.
Well, there's states out here, Jimmy. Now, I'm going to...
At least they let me vote because I didn't have my license on me.
Well, I know here they make you have your license. I mean, it's really big thing here, but still...
Taking a picture was second best, you know what I mean? Because if a lot of people start showing up without license and it's the same person...
Right, and there it goes back to Hillary winning the popular vote. Jimmy, if you take away all the bad and fake votes, all the illegal votes, I don't even think the lady even won the popular vote. That's just my opinion. There's nothing factual to that. I don't have no evidence. But I can't see how that lady won the popular vote in 2016. I don't see how she did.
Well, because in New York and California, the most populous states. Even Trump said if I was going for the popular vote, I would have campaigned a different way. Well, he went for electoral colleges.
Right. He said
Hillary went for the popular vote.
Well, that don't win the presidency, though. Trump did say, I remember him saying...
For what reason? You got California with the high population in New York. They're supposed to run the country forever?
That's why our founding fathers put the electoral college in there. That way, little states like Montana, Iowa, Rhode Island, they have a little say-so in who becomes president.
They got 2 senators just like California and New York does.
Well, I don't never want them to get rid of the when I was younger, I didn't understand the electoral college vote until I got older, and then I started understanding, yes, you're right, Jimmy, if we didn't have the electoral college, California, New York, and I'd say one more state, probably Texas
run the country.
They would decide, who's going to be the president every 4 years. They would run the country.
And it would be redundant. That's why they stuck that in there. These fucking forefathers were geniuses.
They were ahead of their time. Jimmy, they were ahead of their time, wasn't it? These guys were.
Ahead of their time. It's like they did acid and foresaw the future.
Have you ever sat down and read, some of the Constitution? Jimmy, there's words in there that I still don't understand today that I have to look up. How did these guys...
They probably mean nothing today, but the intent means something.
Jeez, really thinkers. We got to really think these guys. They were really smart guys.
Like I said, and the biggest one was Thomas Jefferson. He was the main genius behind the Constitution.
When he's the biggest frameworker of it or something like that?
Yes, he's the one that come up with the most of these ideas, and John Adams and Sam Adams, they all went along with it.
Now, I don't think George Washington had any part with the Constitution, did he, Jimmy?
No, because he was a fighter.
Okay, okay. I get lost sometimes, Jimmy. I don't know everything. I don't have all the answers. I don't know it all. You know what I mean? I like watching the news. I like reading stories. I love history, Jimmy, but there's so much to history. There's a lot to it. There's more to it than you think. You start reading that Constitution, you'd be surprised at that stuff that's in there. Thinking, wow, how did they come up with something like that, 242 years ago, 242 years ago.
Like I said, they didn't do it on alcohol. It had to be something else.
Well, they didn't have computers or nothing back in those days. Even the way they wrote with that calligraphy pens, I mean, it was so neat, and I think it's interesting, man. It really is.
Itself writing with one of them pens.
Well, Jimmy, you remember Eric Holder, right? Our former Attorney General. Now, he a couple weeks ago, he even said that he's thinking about running for president in 2020. Now,
serious.
Yes, I'm telling you the truth. Eric Holder is thinking. Well, and he was talking about President Trump's slogan. I know we're getting low on time here, but you know Trump's slogan that he had, "Make America Great Again," right? Well, Eric Holder, he said certainly it was not when people were enslaved. Certainly it was not when segregation was the law of the land. Certainly it was not when women were disenfranchised. Certainly it was not when the LGBT community was routinely stigmatized. Now listen, this guy, he's you know what he's referring to about that "Make America Great Again." He's basically saying America was never great, Jimmy. Right. To me, that's what he was saying. But to me, I'm going to tell you what I think "Make America Great" means. Now, this is back before everyone became politically correct. Make America Great means back before everyone got offended over every little thing. Before everyone started attacking God. Before everyone started treating our flag like a piece of garbage. Before we started kneeling during the national anthem. Before we started putting illegals before Americans. Before we started killing unborn babies. Before we started picking and choosing which laws to enforce. Before we stopped giving people a free ride in this country. That's what make America Great Again to me means to me, Jimmy. Eric Holder's got it wrong, brother. I mean,
yeah, he does.
And this LGBT,
what's her name there? The last one, Loretta Lynch.
Loretta Lynch, yeah, the tarmac meeting with Bill Clinton, that dirty.
And they're saying Jeff Sessions. They don't want Trump using Jeff Sessions as this little man to go after Democrats, but yet Eric Holder and Janet Lynch went after Republicans, no problem.
Oh, they did some shady stuff there. I mean, they was both shady. I don't even. Now, did Eric Holder? Did he quit? Did he quit, or did Obama just replace him with Loretta Lynch? I don't remember, Jimmy.
He had to leave. It was I think it was the Congress was going to impeach him if he didn't. And he did so much shit that they had to get rid of him.
But you know what? They never talked on the news like they do today. They never said much about it.
He kept everything quiet. Like I said, the media is still a big part. Once the public gets a hold of wakes up to the media, and they got no power no more, then the Democrat Party has no power no more.
They have no power without that media. You're right, Jimmy, because honestly, Jimmy, I didn't hear much about Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch. But I'll tell you right now, if President Trump fired Jeff Sessions after the election, if he wins again, he will win again, and he gets a new attorney general, oh, they'll slam him. It'll be so bad.
I don't care, but the people, the base won't buy it. They're all going to figure out this is the same media that's been lying to us for decades.
Well, they have been lying, and I believe you. I'm sick. Well, you watch Fox, and I'll tell you what, Jimmy. There's some people on Fox News even starting to talk about our president. Fox ain't what it used to be. It's not like it used to be, Jimmy.
No, I know. There's people like Brett. What's his name? Shepard.
Oh, Shepard Smith is.
Yeah, he's totally a Democrat.
I used to like him. At one time, I liked Shepard Smith. I did, man.
It was nice to have a different opinion. Now he's just a Obama clicking the heels.
Now, what did Bill O'Reilly? What they get rid of him for?
Sexual something, exposing himself. I don't know which, but
stupid. Now, wasn't they getting ready to get rid of Hannity too at one time?
No, he never done anything dumb like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, if he keeps sticking up for Trump, I guarantee you one of these days he's going to lose his job. I mean, a lot of people love Hannity.
I got to give him that much credit. They haven't done that.
Let's just hope, Jimmy, that they don't switch completely over to liberal news like MSNBC and CNN. Let's hope Fox keeps a little bit of sense to them. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, you can't trust some of the things they say, some of the people on there. Some of them I don't like. I just don't like. What's that one? I guess he's on CNN, the little gray-headed guy. He's got white hair. What's his name? He's gay. I ain't bashing him because he's gay, but I can't think of his name. He's got white hair. I can't remember his name, but they're all Trump bashers, man. I'm sick of the bashing, Jimmy. I'm just tired of it, man. I mean, they even blame President Trump on this hurricane. They blame Hurricane Florence on Trump. How did Trump make a hurricane?
3,000 deaths in Puerto Rico. It was Trump's fault. It wasn't the hurricane's fault. It was Trump's fault.
Hey, we got 4 minutes, Jimmy. Tell me, now, I'm behind on this story. What was this whole deal with this? I think it was Hurricane Maria, right? That happened last year in Puerto Rico, right?
Right.
What was the big story with Trump and that hurricane in Puerto Rico? What was the story about that? What was they making?
Saying that he didn't do enough. But yet you found out that it was the mayor of San Juan that told all the truckers to stand down, don't deliver any supplies.
Well, you know,
that's why a lot of people died.
I remember.
They did it to themselves.
Well, Jimmy, there was somebody, I don't know who it was one of these Democrats talking about like Hurricane Florence. They said, Trump helped them out because they were Trump supporters and they were white people, but he wouldn't help the people in, other areas like Puerto Rico. So they was calling him a racist when it come to hurricanes too, helping them out because they were white down in the Carolinas, and they were Trump supporters. Is what they said. That's why he was there, with aid and stuff to those people. It's just sickening, Jimmy. It's a wonder. You know how they name hurricanes every year? You know how they got different names set up? It's a wonder they ain't changed one to Hurricane Donald or Hurricane Trump. I mean, they're that vindictive. You watch and see one of these days, and if Trump wins again, they'll name a hurricane after that man. He can't do nothing right.
Next year, actually in 2020 when he's running.
You take one of them hurricanes, he'll name it Hurricane Donald or something?
Yeah, it'll be devastating. They'll find the one that's devastating, call it Donald.
Yeah, what do they call them? Category 5s? Oh, this is Hurricane Donald. And it'll be all Trump. Now, Trump killed millions. He killed millions. He flooded. He destroyed.
3,000 in Puerto Rico. That's more than anybody. Florida and everybody else all together.
Well, I got news for these wackos, these nut jobs. President Trump does not make hurricanes. He doesn't have that kind of power. He's not a messiah. He's just a man, people. So calm down. Jimmy, I guess you just poked me. So we got 1 minute left. Again, I just want to say thanks to everybody out there for listening. Let's get out here. Let's get interested. Let's get energized in this midterm elections. Thanks everybody for listening. And that's about all I got, Jimmy. If you want to, shout out to the troops. Yeah, boys, take care of yourself, men and women. And I already did that at the beginning. But anyway, Jimmy, can you play it now? Or is it too soon? Goodbye, everybody.
No, I can play it.
Goodbye, everybody. We're not going to take it. Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks for helping me tonight.